welcome to Asian Pulse Television. I'm your host, Brianna Prasad, and thank you for tuning in to your informative educational network. We're broadcasting from the unceded territory of Semiahmoo, Katzie, Kwalton, and Musqueam Nation. We are grateful for the first people of this land for sharing their beautiful space with the rest of us. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
क्या आप अपना ड्रीम होम खरीदना चाहते हो या अपने घर से पैसे निकालकर अपने किचन या अपने घर को रेनोवेट करना चाहते हो लेकिन बैंक्स ने आपको मना कर दिया है? आप मुझे कॉल कर सकते हैं यानी विक प्रसाद को। मैं एक इंडिपेंडेंट मॉर्गेज ब्रोकर हूं जो कई बैंक्स और क्रेडिट यूनियंस और प्राइवेट लेंडर्स के साथ काम करता हूं।
For more information, please call Vic Prasad at 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is one of the top brokers of Invis Craft Mortgages and is also a member of the Canadian Mortgage Brokers Association of BC.
For any kind of visa-related services, contact Milky Way Immigration, a galaxy of opportunities located at Unit 209-9547 152 Street, Surrey, BC. They have licensed immigration consultants, placement officers, and LMIA experts to meet your immigration and recruitment needs. Book one-time free consultation either on Facebook or by calling 604-396-0005.
Thank you, sponsors. If you would like to be our sponsor and provide sponsorship to any segment of this show, get in touch with Camilla by calling the number 604-537-5123. Our guest today is Prab Sangha. She is the Board of Directors with Vancouver and Lower Mainland Family Support Services Society. She's here to talk about family law. Have a look.
Hello and welcome to Asian Pulse. My guest today is Prab Sangha and she is with Lehal Law Group right here in Surrey. And we gonna be talking about a couple of things that has come to our attention and we want to bring it to your attention. So welcome. Thank you for coming in, Prab.
Thank you for having me here.
Yes, we've been planning to do this for a while and both of us got sick, but that's okay. Anytime today is a good day to do that. Anyways, talk a little bit about your background and about yourself.
Sure. So I'm born and raised here. My parents are also immigrants. So I practice immigration law. I'm located here in actually Delta. And so I do not only, for example, visitor visas and work permit applications, but I also do refugee claims, federal court matters when there is something, for example, that gets refused. So I'm a lawyer. So I can speak in Punjabi too, so that the viewers have a bit of an understanding. So so basically मैं वकील हैगी आ जिद्दां non वकील भी ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ right so ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ law school ਜਾਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ lawyer ਬਣਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਫਿਰ BC bar ਦੇ member ਬਣਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ so ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ important ਹੈਗਾ actually ਮੈਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ that ਸਾਡੇ ਆਫਿਸ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਲੋਕ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਉਹ ਵਕੀਲ ਕੋਲ ਗਏ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ but actually unfortunately ਕਾਫੀ fraud ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ and ਉਹ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ that it's a lawyer but it really isn't
right
so there's actually like the Law Society of British Columbia the directory ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡਾ ਨੇਮ ਐਂਟਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੱਚੀ lawyer ਨੂੰ ਹਾਇਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ and ਇਹ ਕਾਫੀ important ਹੈਗਾ ਆ because ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੋਈ ਲੋਕ ਬਾਹਰ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਕੀਲ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ for sure ਉਹ actually ਵਕੀਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ so ਮੇਰੇ clients ਕਾਫੀ surprised ਹੁੰਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ so ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਮੰਗਦੀ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਪੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰੋ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਤੋਂ ਕੰਮ ਲਈ ਹੈਲਪ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ right and so that's just one thing I want to share and also it's both important haga when you're a immigration lawyer because jido thanu koi refusal melda like your visitor visa gets refused your study permit gets refused your work permit or tusi kis nu sponsor card then you get refused only jehda vakil hage lawyer hage ohi appeal kar sakde federal court de vich
right
so sometimes I have clients actually that will come in and they will say that we didn't even know that ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ refusal ਨੂੰ appeal ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਸੀ right because ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨੂੰ person represent ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ ਉਹ lawyer ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ so that's unfortunate because ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ appeal ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ right ਸੀ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ loss ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ
Right.
so yeah so I just wanted to make that very clear yeah
So there is two things. Immigration lawyer,
Yes.
you should be looking for. Immigration consultant. Anybody can be a consultant, go take some courses and become a consultant, right?
yes that's correct
Yeah, and then lawyers, they go through 5 years of university, they have to write the exam, they have to be accepted by the BC Law Society.
yes
So there is a bigger, different process.
there is a different process and as a lawyer you obviously have a doctorate degree right so it's a
Yes.
longer process
Yes.
yes
And you'll know the law inside out.
we do
Immigration,
yes
yeah.
and it's as a lawyer ਸਾਡੀ duty ਕਾਫੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ law ਦਾ ਸਮਝ ਹੋਵੇ right
Right.
because when we have to go to federal court and ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ appeal ਲਈ argue ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੱਗੇ cases federal court ਚ ਗਏ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਜੋ case law ਹੈਗਾ ਜੋ law ਹੈਗਾ immigration ਜਾਂ policy ਹੈਗੀ ਆ we have to have a solid understanding of that so that we can argue someone's case in court properly
So what I understand now, that if a refugee case get rejected by a consultant, they cannot appeal then.
so
What happens there?
So yes, so after a refugee claim, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ refugee claim card and then you have a hearing.
Yes.
If you're found not to be accepted and you're refused,
Yeah.
then you can appeal. You have a right of appeal to the RAD, which is the Refugee Appeal Division.
Yeah.
But after that, if that gets refused, फिर एक और option होती है for federal court.
Okay.
So only federal court only a lawyer can go, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਕੀਲ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ. But RAD ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ, sometimes there are consultants or non-lawyers that will take it to RAD.
Yeah.
But it's important because ਜਿਹੜਾ decision appeal ਤੇ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ, that's the only decision you can argue in federal court.
Right.
So ਜਦੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ application
Yeah.
ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ, it's very important that ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ properly ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਵੇ.
Acha.
Yes.
Okay. So do you find there are issues in this law or in the area of the law in case of immigration law?
Yeah, there is a lot of issues I'm seeing because I also do detention hearings when ਜਿਹੜੇ the detention center for example ਹੈਗਾ ਆ like IHC in Surrey ਉਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ immigrants ਨੂੰ kind of like a jail detention center ਫੜਿਆ ਚ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ right and so I'm seeing a lot of problems there too. There's addiction problems, there's mental health problems. ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਇੱਥੇ visitor visa ਤੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ CBS ਫੜ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ right so a lot of problems such as violations or ਜਿਹੜੇ permit ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ follow ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ right so I am seeing ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਾਫੀ problems in the community aside from ਜਿਹੜਾ fraud ਹੈਗਾ ਆ and you know we get calls too but ਅਸੀਂ LMIA purchase ਕਰਨੀ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ sell ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ that's actually illegal ਕੰਮ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ lawyer ਹੈਗੇ ਆ we can't do that so and honestly ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਜਿਹੜੀ job ਹੈਗੀ ਸਹੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਜਾਂ work permit ਸਹੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ a work permit the cost like $20, $30, $40,000 ਕਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ yeah so
ਹੋਣਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੀਏ.
yeah no
It's a rip-off.
it
you
is
know.
and then governments I mean fee ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ for example ਤੁਸੀਂ online ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ for a work permit it's a couple hundred for the work permit so we don't do any of the LMIA work or anything like that so just a couple of things some problems I'm noticing and then obviously a lot of students are being abused in the workforce too but I won't go into that today so ਕਾਫੀ abuse ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ study permit ਜਾਂ work permit ਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਨੋ ਕਿਸ ਲਈ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ and so ਉਹ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਾਫੀ case ਦੇਖੀਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ
So the next question I was going to ask you is can you sponsor your spouse to Canada in case you went back to whatever your homeland, get married, and then
Right. Yes, so you can sponsor.
So what kind of documentation you need? You need to
Okay.
have a job.
Sure. So there's basically two options. So one is an inland spousal, one is a overseas spousal.
Okay.
So basically, ek hunda je tusi aite hage apne spouse nu, for example, magana mangde from a different country, you want to bring them here. And then you want to apply also for a work permit, jido aite ajande hage ya.
Yeah.
That's called an inland application. And for that, obviously, you've got to be able to show that, you can support this person and that you have status to sponsor them too. So, oho hundia inland applications, una de benefit hunda that you can get an open work permit and you can work as well.
Okay.
But the problem with inland is that tusi, if you get a refusal, you can't appeal it.
Oh.
But Jera Hega overseas, for example, the partner is going to stay in India or Philippines or China or Fiji or wherever they are, and the person is here in Canada. O hundaya jido overseas sponsorship hunda o the appeal hundia.
Okay.
But that person can't really get a work permit and live in Canada while the application is happening.
Process.
So it do options काफी different हैगिया या. So ਉਹ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਵੇ couple ਦੀ goal ਕੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਨੇ Canada ਛੋੜਨਾ ਜਦੋਂ spousal sponsorship ਚੱਲਦੀ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ country ਜਿਹੜਾ one partner ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੋਰ country ਛੋੜਨਾ. So it ਕਾਫੀ that's where we have to see what's better for the couple. Yeah.
So how long does it actually take? Because, one time we had that the immigration department, that for spousal sponsorship, they will just make it easier for them or don't have to have 3-4 years
right.
once you are married and your wife is there and husband is there to sponsor a spouse. Is it faster now?
So the idea is to make it faster for people. Like, for example, that's why there is a Jura open work permit haga for people while the partner joins them in Canada. The idea is but no faster meljave open work permit the os time le ho work kar sakade janno process honda. But honestly it feels like a year minimum talagda hagaya for something to happen.
Okay.
And sometimes over a year or two. But we're seeing that they're processing these open work permits much faster now.
Okay.
Because the government, recently there was a policy about reuniting the families.
Yes.
So, ode karke, there's, the idea is if someone's submitting a spousal open work permit, be faster hove. And I know a lot of people think, self story learning and all about their marriage and photos and that's enough. Or they sochte hage, people think it's an easy application. There's a lot of refusals as well. It's very important to show, if there's an age difference, if there's a different religion, how did these people meet? What is their relationship? It काफी creative होना पैंदा है जिधो जिधो offer certain application thadi meldi that they understand that it actually married genuine hagia and fake ni hagia,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so applications easy ni hagia. It is my recommendation that you aap na karo because we have had people jinane aap kitiya hai, then they get refused, then they come to us. For sade le bhi hard haga, we can't do much.
Yeah.
So it's idda nahi haga bas just attach documents and thoda jiha lekh ke document bhej do na, like eh kafi detailed likhna penda hai. And because we see refusals too.
Yeah.
And from the beginning, you have to have a strong application. Because if it gets refused, then the idea is that tomorrow ki karna, how do you appeal it?
Yeah.
So you have to be ready for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you or your firm also does a lot of refugee status as well. The people that are here and they want to apply for refugee status to stay in Canada.
Yes. So we do a lot of refugee claims as well. So refugee claims, I get a lot of people that come to the office and then they say that, Horkash Hoyani or all failed. can we just apply for a refugee?
Yes.
In those cases, I don't recommend it because immigration will look at, like, you know, why didn't you apply if you were in danger a year ago? Or why did you have this delay? Or now that everything's expired or refused, now you want to do refugee, right?
Yeah.
So the government knows that.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll tell me that their previous representative, Jackie Sinekia, betusi refugee lado, you'll get a PR meljana, right? But honestly, it's not a joke. Eh joke nahi haga. If one ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਾਫੀ spend ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਾਕੂਮੈਂਟ ਸਾਰੇ ਪ੍ਰਪੇਅਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਬੋਰਡ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੀਅਰਿੰਗ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ the decision maker ਜਿਹੜੇ board member ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ claimant ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ question ਪੁੱਛਣੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੇਖਣਾ if this person's credible or not, right? So they assessed, you know, their testimony and ਉਹ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ are they lying, is it truthful, which is fair. And so that's very important. And also, like, just because, you know, people think that, you know, you start the refugee process and you get a free open work permit to work, that now you're okay. Oda koi meaning nahi haga. Thode time you can work, but when your hearing happens and then you get a refusal and then you get a removal order, it's very hard to help that person. So for refugee claims in the communities, there's a lot of confusion. People think it's very easy and it's a good backup option or the best option. Sometimes it's not the best option. And that's where I'll consider different applications.
I think also all depend. I have come across people that they want to have some status, like PR in the country. And you come from Fiji, Pakistan, India, where there's no war, there's nothing happening, and they say, I want to apply for refugee. So when the government looks at there's nothing happening in the country, that is safe country to return, why would you want to do that, right? So it's not a good application. You know, you should, Afghanistan, where there's a war happening, and Israel and things like that, where the refugees are coming, they know if they are sent back, their life will be miserable or they could be killed. It will be a good application in countries like that.
Yes, that's true. But for persecution, for example, unfortunate circumstances like war, of course, they weigh heavily, right? Sometimes there is persecution where, for example, a family member was persecuted. Now you're in danger too for the rest of your life, right? Or what religion you're part of, or what political party you're part of. That matters too. But you have to, like you said, yes, you have to look at the country conditions as well as a part of that application.
The last question I was going to say about the victims of the family violence, people that come in here as a spouse and family breakdown. Do you take that kind of cases as well?
Yes. So also ਜਿਹੜੇ cases ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ family violence ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, right? ਤੁਸੀਂ immigrant ਹੈਗੇ Canada ਵਿੱਚ. There is special policy ਹੈਗੀ ਆ. So humanitarian and compassionate grounds application for permanent residence under the family violence pathway. But ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ application ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ, for example, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ option ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ for PR, this is a better option sometimes than a refugee claim. But it काफी complicated applications ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ. Like when I do them, sometimes it takes me 2 months to get one application properly done. Like slowly and properly putting together the evidence and documents.
And do all the research behind it.
Exactly. And then under this H&C category, there's family violence victims. And a special policy actually in Odilime recently federal court navigasia case and basically the idea ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ violence ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ relationship ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ PR ਲਈ apply ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ. Mostly this is available for you know, women that are struggling with family violence. However, in some situations, I have applied for men as well. But it depends. Like the story's got to be solid. There's got to be, maybe police record or evidence or doctor evidence, right? Or you're seeing a counselor or psychologist. So काफी complicated applications है. But a special option हैगी है, and the situation is that mostly in these circumstances, people do get permanent residence, but as a lawyer, I can't guarantee that, right?
Yeah.
But these are good options, and obviously you have to show too that why you can't go back to the country. Because ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ hardships ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਆ, right? Because sometimes the idea is, well, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ mom and dad ਉੱਤੇ ਆ, ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਤੇ grow up ਹੋਏ ਹੈਗੇ, ਹੁਣ ਕਾ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ, right?
Yeah, they will disown you or something.
Yeah, exactly. So then ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ big culture, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ for example Chinese culture, ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ Asian culture, ਕੀ situation ਹੈ culture ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, right? Like family dishonor ਹੁੰਦਾ as one example. So ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਫੀ ਫਿਰ understanding country ਦੀ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, culture ਦੀ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ when we're making these applications. And that's usually a good option as a backup for these kinds of individuals. Yeah.
So I'm looking at the clock. We are almost out of time. So what is the last advice? Those people that are watching you today, they're thinking about which process should I choose. I want legal advice. What can you say to them?
I mean, I would say it's very important. First, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਵੀ, or you can also online research as well and understand. Of course, language barrier bhi hunde, and I understand that. It's also important that you get a proper representative and just ask them questions, understand, and make sure that ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ like ਜੋ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਕੋਈ application apply ਕੀਤਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ copy ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, or ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸ ਨੂੰ pay ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, make sure you get a receipt ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ pay ਕੀਤਾ. ਜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਈ office ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, we give them a copy of their record or file or their receipt, right? So just make sure you have everything as well.
And if you are paying, make a copy of a bank draft or something.
Exactly.
Make sure that is a proof of your payment that you have paid.
And I always suggest that, it's better not to pay in cash.
Yeah.
So that you have your own record too tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for coming in and giving all this valuable information to our viewers and our audience.
I hope it helps.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
क्या आप अपना ड्रीम होम खरीदना चाहते हो, या अपने घर से पैसे निकालकर अपने किचन या अपने घर को रेनोवेट करना चाहते हो, लेकिन बैंक्स ने आपको मना कर दिया है? आप मुझे कॉल कर सकते हैं, यानी विक प्रसाद को. मैं एक इंडिपेंडेंट मॉर्गेज ब्रोकर हूं जो कई बैंक्स और क्रेडिट यूनियंस और प्राइवेट लेंडर्स के साथ काम करता हूं.
For more information, please call Vic Prasad at 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is one of the top brokers of Invis Craft Mortgages and is also a member of the Canadian Mortgage Brokers Association of BC.
For any kind of visa-related services, contact Milky Way Immigration, a galaxy of opportunities located at Unit 209-9547 152 Street, Surrey, BC. They have licensed immigration consultants, placement officers, and LMIA experts to meet your immigration and recruitment needs. Book one-time free consultation either on Facebook or by calling 604-396-0005.
Thank you, Prab Sangha. If you need her professional advice or need to speak to a lawyer about family matter, give her a call. Please have your pen and paper ready to jot down the numbers. Angel Music Productions is bringing another mega show on August 4th at Punjab Banquet Hall in Surrey. There'll be entertainers from 6 different countries which you haven't witnessed before. Get your tickets now by calling Mike Singh, promoter, at 604-818-9405. Bula Rugby Tournament is taking place in Delta on the week of August 17th and 18th. There'll be over 25 rugby teams from all over Canada participating at this tournament. For sponsorship and more information, please call Sela at 778-713-2418. July is here, and during the month is also scorching heat. Keep yourself and your elderly parents safe as well as the pets in the house. Never take your pet for a drive or leave them in a hot car. If always leave the pet at home, they're much safer at home than in the car. Surrey Fusion Festival is coming up on July 20th and 21st at Holland Park in Surrey. This is free admission. There'll be over 60 pavilions there to try their food and display different cultures. If you're organizing any events in your community and want us to promote it for you, please send us an email at asianpulse@gmail.com. We've run out of time now, and I hope you have enjoyed the show as much as I do bringing it to you. If you miss our shows, you can always tune in on Shaw Cable every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m., Thursdays at 8:30 p.m., and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. All of our shows are broadcasted in Calgary on Channel 10 on Shaw Cable Network, and also get uploaded to our YouTube channel under Camilla Singh Shows. Before I leave, I'll leave you with these thoughts. Every struggle in your life has shaped you into the person you are today. Be thankful for the hard times. They can only make you stronger. It's hot out there. Keep yourself hydrated and keep an eye on people who are elderly, babies, and pets. Best way to cool down is to drink as much water as you can. I hope you have a wonderful day and look forward to seeing you all next week on the same channel, same time. I'm your host, Brianna. Bye for now.
क्या आप अपना ड्रीम होम खरीदना चाहते हो या अपने घर से पैसे निकालकर अपने किचन या अपने घर को रेनोवेट करना चाहते हो, लेकिन बैंक्स ने आपको मना कर दिया है? आप मुझे कॉल कर सकते हैं, यानी विक प्रसाद को। मैं एक इंडिपेंडेंट मॉर्गेज ब्रोकर हूं जो कई बैंक्स और क्रेडिट यूनियंस और प्राइवेट लेंडर्स के साथ काम करता हूं।
For more information, please call Vic Prasad at 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is one of the top brokers of Invest Craft Mortgages and is also a member of the Canadian Mortgage Brokers Association of BC.
For any kind of visa-related services, contact Milky Way Immigration, a galaxy of opportunities located at Unit 209-9547 152 Street, Surrey, BC. They have licensed immigration consultants, placement officers, and LMIA experts to meet your immigration and recruitment needs. Book one-time free consultation either on Facebook or by calling 604-396-0005.
Hit it now.